Yeah, gonna pick him up.
You're so strong.
Macho Matt.
You meant pick him up, like pick him up, didn't you? Are we live?
Yeah.
Hey, hello. Welcome, Bon Beanie.
We're just going to talk to ourselves. That's how this podcast goes now.
Well, it's not just ourselves because we've got Tony here right
That's
now.
true.
Welcome to the pre-podcast live stream. We have Tony Diles here, and he's going to be our special guest. We'll drop him off before we start officially, and then we'll bring him back up. So if you're here now, you get the sneak peek. Meg is saying hello to Tony and to us. Hello, Meg.
Hello.
Meg has been hanging out there. We'll see if I guess we got 4 people out there. So
look at this. I started to touch my screen. I don't have a touch screen.
Yeah, you don't have a touch screen.
No.
So you can touch your screen, but it'll just make
true.
it fingerprinted.
Pretty sure she's talking to Matt right now about the nice hair.
Yeah.
Yes. It's yeah.
It looks so good.
And she likes the background.
Can I just point out that she said nice hair before she said nice background? Have you found something that people like more than the background? Your hair.
I thought about wearing my elf ears. But
I mean, you can pull that look up.
I know.
So
Meg, are you talking about our background or Tony's?
Mine is too dark to like.
Tony's got like a musical instrument hanging in his background. That we don't have that.
That is my ukulele.
Do you play that? Like, can you play that?
A little bit, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Here, I'll grab it. I'm really only self-taught, so I'm not great at it, but yeah, so really just self-taught.
That I'm impressed.
Yeah.
That's a lot more than I could do. It made me think of the volcano song.
Oh yeah.
Lava. I lava you.
Yeah.
Whenever
I think of the ukulele, I think of that the Somewhere Over the Rainbow song, but not like the one from the Wizard of Oz, the other one.
The Izaz version of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's so good.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I think so.
You do. You've heard it.
Okay. I believe you.
Meg says hashtag hair background elf ears.
Oh, here we go. There is only one background that is the background. There can be only one. Like a Highlander thing.
Meg said, I don't know. Tony seems very cool too, but I was referring to y'all's background.
Kevin counts as of 3 hours ago. He is officially on vacation. We are partying.
Partying? What's that?
That's
I
fun
don't know.
too.
Hopefully partying like rock stars. We got In-N-Out Burger and big ass Dr. Peppers. That's probably why he was like party on, like he did the whole Wayne's World thing on Facebook. So
we have a Mallory.
What? Hey, Mallory.
And if Andrew's with you, hello.
Hello to Andrew.
You know what? I was
if he's
actually
not with you. Say hello to him.
Well, yeah, that. I was actually thinking, you know what I haven't seen in a while? A really long email from Andrew.
Yeah, start typing now. Mallory has got 3 days until cruising. Tell us about it, Mallory. Tell us about your cruising, because that's exciting. Speaking of, I know we don't want to do too many spoilers now, but how long do you have till your cruise, Tony? You know off the top of your head?
Yeah, we have 7 days.
7 days.
Wait, no, we leave on Sunday.
That's just barely over a week.
So like
Yes.
7 until you get here, but like
7
8.
until we're on vacation.
Okay.
That's what really
That's
kind of
cool.
matters.
That is cool. And have you had a lot of vacations in the last couple of years, or have you guys been pretty much stuck?
A big fat 0.
Yeah.
Yep. We've had small little like weekend getaways, but
Right.
nothing that you would consider significant or I guess relaxing.
I was gonna say I feel like I've seen you guys go to like little weekend spots and do some semi-local kind of stuff.
Yeah, we tried to take Theodora camping for the first time this past weekend, and she was not having it in the tent.
No.
So Cheyenne ended up actually driving her home at like midnight, and I just hung out in her tent by herself. It was a good time.
Aw.
She liked everything else but being in the tent.
Just couldn't handle it. Just couldn't
Yeah.
deal with it. That's your pup, right? So that for people
Yeah.
that if the people don't know, they're like, is that like a daughter? Is that
It is our dog. Yes,
yes?
our
Okay.
puppy. She is
Well,
wonderful.
do like a backyard camping thing and get her, break her in.
We're gonna try. We have ideas for small steps. Maybe just like hanging out in our tent while it's down in our basement or something. Just
I was
seeing
gonna
if we can
say
get her to play in there.
make like a blanket fort.
Mhm. That works too. I mean, she would just tear it down and then try and wrestle me. That's what she would do.
Oh, cool.
Um,
Hey, we got the
what?
Professor Travel in here, which I don't know if he's going to be able to stay, but if he does, that's cool because Scott was just on the Explorer of the Seas recently.
Oh wow!
And he even sent us pictures, which I did not upload onto here.
Oh,
Dang it.
Shame.
You can probably pull them from there.
Everybody
what?
shame
Oh,
Matt.
yeah. I know, right?
Mallory is heading to Seattle doing an 8-day to Alaska on the Carnival Splendor.
What? She's going to Alaska. Is that what you
Yeah.
said? That's pretty cool.
Cruise creature excursions, of course. Whale watching.
Nice. Nice.
I
Let's
want to
see.
do that. I need to do that. Can we do that?
Whale watching?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, find some whales.
Actually, speaking of whales, even though it's not whales, whale sharks, what is their
Oh,
season?
I thought you were going to talk about like whales, like the country.
No. The shark.
They're-
What is their season?
I want to say
Is their season June?
I think so. I think they're here.
You know why I'm asking you that, right?
Yeah, I know what you're asking me
Okay.
that. I have thought that same thing. I
Um,
think that's what it
Tony,
is.
Scott's asking if you're leaving from Puerto Rico or a different start.
We are leaving out of Miami.
I could have answered that, but I thought since he was asking about you, I'd let you answer.
I guess I could also pay attention to the chat too.
Oh, you're good.
It's
I could probably hit the button and it make it actually pop up, but that involves me doing something.
wait, what?
Mallory says whale sharks in June, Kimbra. So
You don't want to pronounce the middle part there?
Nope.
I feel like I'm missing one here. Hang on. Dang it. I was like, I thought I was so prepared and I thought, oh, I got everything uploaded. And then I just realized I hadn't.
I was
uploaded
actually
these.
impressed. I took the dog out and came back in and Matt had like everything set up for us.
I know.
And I was like, wow.
And then just fail.
No.
But fortunately, that's why we have the pre-show.
The podcast before the podcast.
That's right. That's right. So we can catch 75.3% of our mistakes before we make them during the actual technical podcast. It might not let me. It might not let me do those videos because they have to be MP4s, but I can do the pictures.
Thank you, Todd. Decided to go a little crazy with my hair. Mallory is pronouncing it for me.
I thought she was saying something about hair loss for a second.
Ilamu Harris. Whale sharks in Ilamu Harris in June.
What?
She put this whale sharks.
Oh,
I read it and I said whale
Okay.
sharks in June, and Tony said you're not going to read the middle part, and I said no. So Mallory wrote out the
I'm
pronunciation
caught up.
for me.
I'm caught up. Okay.
Kevin said where he was going, and I missed it. San Pedro doing 10 days on regatta. Mallory said bravo. Thank you. See, I can say it when it's spelled out.
So what are you telling me? You want to go swim with whale sharks?
Maybe.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool. That would like make it a really long trip just to swim with whale sharks for like 10 minutes. But I mean, we'd have fun on the way, right? The journey should be part of the fun.
I mean, I like boats.
It would be on a cruise ship for sure.
Kevin says our whale shark excursion in La Paz, did I say that one right?
Sure.
Got canceled. The Mexican government said the numbers were too low.
Oh, wow.
When was that
Okay.
recent, Kevin? testing printing the Fintastic bookmarks. Think I need to go thinner. They look good so far. I will post
Cool.
on Facebook when done.
Cool. So yeah, they do the whale shark thing over there. I am sad that happened, but I'm not happy that it happened. I don't want you to take it that way, but I'm glad that they care. I'm glad that they're paying attention to those things and that they're aware that they're taking precautions for the safety of the animals. That's a good thing. I would be heartbroken if it happened to me. And I wish there were just more whale sharks over there, but I'm glad that they're not doing it. I know when I did the excursion, they were like very, very particular. Like we weren't allowed to wear sunscreen. We were told that if we tried to touch the sharks, that we would be immediately pulled out of the water. And basically the company that runs those excursions, if they screw up any of these like rules and stuff, they can lose their business as far as being able to do that. They won't be allowed to do that anymore. So they're like no, we're crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's, which I mean, I think that's good. It's a really cool experience that I feel very lucky to have been able to do. But the last thing I want to do is something that's harmful to those animals. So I think that's good, that we have to do it the right way.
Yeah. Our whale shark excursion was supposed to be next weekend while we're on the Oceania Regatta. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. It is almost time. Tony, I'm going to pull you out. We'll pop you back in.
Maybe it'll change. Maybe they'll change their minds. That would be cool. All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are the people ready? I'm not giving them a choice.
Come with me, we're going on a fantastic cruise. Pick your destination with news, tips, and reviews. But here is an item you might not have thought of. All of the things under the water. Nature surrounds us with elegant features. You can't go on a cruise and not see the creatures. So let's make some magic, let's get ecstatic. Instantly classic, maybe romantic. The wildlife around you, cinematic on your fantastic cruise.
Bon Beanie, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Fintastic Cruising. I'm Matt.
And I'm Kimbra.
And we've got Tony Diles sitting in the green room.
Wow, way to just throw it out there away.
It literally says it on the thumbnail.
Oh, it does. You're right.
So, and Tony is obviously one of our favorite guests. We've had a lot of really good guests recently because we had Scott, now we got Tony. Like we got like all the.
We had someone down under cruisers. We have some future guests in mind.
Yes,
as well.
Yes, and so yeah, very privileged and thankful to have met all these wonderful people and be able to share some fun times, and for you guys to be able to experience some of that with us is really, really awesome. So anything we need to talk about before we bring Tony in? Because we're going to be chatty. Because Tony's like me, he's got the gift of the gab.
Well, let's talk about something that Tony needs to book.
Oh, okay. We can bring that up.
You want to do that?
Sure.
So that's the Fintastic Cruising group cruise. That's March 12th of 2023. And there's a lot of really cool people on it. We're going to be on it. I mean, it's our cruise. And maybe Tony will be on it if he books it. I know he's got possible other plans. We'll see how that goes. But if those plans don't go through, cruise needs to happen.
There we go.
I realized I was just pointing at the camera and nobody can see it.
Yeah. That's okay.
That's okay.
If you wouldn't have said that, nobody would have known.
That's true. Anyway, it goes to Grand Cayman, Roatan, Belize, and Cozumel on the Carnival Pride out of Tampa. If you're interested, please send us an email, fintastictravel@gmail.com. Yes. Did I miss anything?
No. Well, I don't know. I mean, I can tell you that our friend Todd is out there right now, and Todd is a printer of 3D things, and he's been talking about some cool stuff. If you're in the chat, you might have seen it, but some cool stuff that you might get if you go on the group cruise.
Yeah.
And that's pretty awesome. I'm excited about it.
I am too.
Very excited about it. Anyway, okay.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
All right.
Let's bring on, hang on, let me see. I was going to try and do this intro.
Don't be too loud.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the one, the only, oh, I'm messing up
you
already.
failed.
Tony Diles. Was that too loud?
That was pretty loud.
Welcome, Tony.
It was really loud. That was good. I'm not going to hear anything for a week.
My goal is to deafen all of our guests as if they were at an old Who concert. That's what I've heard. I've heard that the Who was the band that they always said was really loud. I don't know.
Who?
Exactly.
I just need to mention two things that have popped up in the chat before we really get going. Kevin said, how can one get on that cruise? Well, that's by emailing fintastictravel@gmail.com. He also said the only bad thing about that banner is that it's blocking the background.
Man. Yep. Okay.
And then Meg, is Reno sleeping? Yes.
Yes.
Reno's sleeping.
Sound asleep. And by the way, if you are listening to this in the future, you should come over to YouTube and look at Kimbra's hair because it's purple. And I don't mean a little bit. I mean, it's purple. I'm a fan. So come and check that out. But Tony, we have brought you on here because you are cruising in like a little over a week.
Like 7.5, 8 days, somewhere around there.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And it's your second cruise.
The second, yes.
The second. But we
had Tony on after his first cruise.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
You are, and you can go check that episode out. It's an audio only podcast, but go check that out.
It was like one of our first ones.
Yeah,
I can't tell you what number because I don't know.
He also contributed to our first Halloween episode, and he's contributed to other episodes as well. Tony has been a regular enough that we got to know him and became friends. And also, let me just say this right away. Tony is also a podcaster, a caster of pods. And what does he podcast about, Kimbra?
I don't know.
Wow.
Tony, tell us about your podcast.
If I knew, I would tell you as well. I just kind of turn this mic on and start talking, and whatever comes out, comes out. But no, it's actually about Harry Potter. It's called Common Room Talk. And I am, as of right now, I'm actually on a break until after our cruise. Things got really crazy. But the premise of my podcast is to go through the Harry Potter series, through the books, chapter by chapter, talking about what is going on in as much detail as I possibly can, and kind of comparing and contrasting the books to the movies and all of that fun stuff. Really talking about the things that I enjoy and things that I don't enjoy. It's a lot of fun.
And you just finished the first book, right?
Correct. Yes. Just finished the first one. Going to be going through the second one. And it's actually pretty unique. We're going through the illustrated editions. And so it's not like the original versions of them. So as I'm also talking about the chapters and everything that's going on, I'm also trying to describe the pictures to the best of my ability when it comes to like trying to describe pictures that people can't see. As Matt and Kimbra, you've done this multiple times, trying to explain what you're seeing to everyone on the audio side of the
Right.
podcast. It's interesting, to say the least.
Cool. Well, definitely go and check that out. If you are a fan of Harry Potter, or if you're interested in Harry Potter, it's a great way, especially if you're reading the books. It would be a great companion to go along with that. Or if you've read the books, to go back and kind of, get inspired and really revisit those. And Tony's a very entertaining guy. So, you might enjoy him even if you've never read the books, but read the books because you should do that, right?
Have you read all the books, Matt?
No, I have not.
Okay.
But you should. That's what I'm saying. And I'm talking to myself. But anyway, so check out Tony's podcast. But look, you said to us, because you booked your cruise through us.
Mm-hmm.
Really, she does all the work. I'm going to remind you so she doesn't. She does all the work.
I was going to let it go.
And so you said, will you guys do a virtual tour of the ship that you're going on? And we said, yes. And you are going to do it with us. So we asked you, and you kindly agreed to come on here so that we could do this tour of the Explorer of the Seas.
Mm-hmm.
Your first cruise, you're in a little bit of a unique situation, I think, because your first cruise was a little bit different than most cruises that most people in the United States have done, in that you went to Bermuda and did the overnight in Bermuda. So you've only been to the one port, but that's quite a port to go to, and you did the overnight. So this one is different. Tell us real quick, where are you leaving from and going to? How long is this cruise?
Yeah, so it is 6 days. We are leaving out of Miami, and we are heading to Perfect Day at Coco Cay. We are heading to Haiti, and we are heading to Jamaica, Falmouth specifically, and then in Haiti we're going to Labadee. Very
nice. Now, both Labadee and Coco Cay are private Royal Caribbean spaces. I'm interested really in your cruise for a number of reasons. One of them being I've never been to Jamaica or Haiti. So I'm very curious to kind of hear and see what you experience when you go to these places. I have, however, been to Coco Cay, and I can tell you that is a really cool port. So I think you're going to enjoy all the ports. I know you're going to enjoy Coco Cay because it is definitely very high up on the list for me and for a lot of cruisers. You went to Coco Cay.
That's where we saw the lemon shark.
Yeah, so that was cool. But really, I mean, we spent all of our time in the water, but there's so much to do on top of that. You know, it's basically like a little almost theme park in a sense. I mean, it's got like the huge water park, and it's just got a lot of good food venues and just beautiful beaches, just a really nice day. And the cool thing about those two ports too is that because they're Royal Caribbean ports, it's real easy to just get off the ship, enjoy your day, and you don't have to worry about doing any excursions if you don't want to, and you still are going to get a real full port experience. Jamaica, you'll want to do an excursion if you're going to get off the ship in Jamaica, which I hope you do, because Jamaica has some really cool. Yeah, they got some cool excursion options. But I mean, there's things you can do in Coco Cay and Labadee, but you don't have to, or you can't. So that's kind of how I feel about those places. Is they're just really, I love that kind of a feel when you get to go to those private islands, you get that full experience.
Yeah, no, we already have some excursions booked for Haiti and Jamaica, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool.
We're going to be hiking through some jungles, climbing some waterfalls, and renting some jet skis. So it's going to be an amazing.
Nice.
Waterfalls in Jamaica and jet skis in Labadee?
Correct. Yes.
Cool. Okay. Very, very nice. Very nice. All right. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to just get into this ship?
Sure.
So what we're going to do, Tony, is we are going to share our screen. So we'll be on the side as little video things here. And we're going to go through, we're not going to go through all the decks because some of the decks are pretty much just staterooms, so that we don't really need to go through those. But we're going to go through deck by deck, are the ones that have stuff on them. And we're just going to talk about what's there. And if you have questions or you have comments, of course, just feel free to speak your mind there, and we'll see what we can find out.
I also want to mention Tony specifically asked us to talk about some of the food venues, kind of where they're located, what's included and what's additional. So we will definitely hit on those along the way.
Yes. And let me just say from the get-go that Royal Caribbean, I think, this is my opinion, obviously, but they have very good food. Like their food and their service in the MDR, I think I'm a Carnival fan, but I will say that the service in the MDR on Royal Caribbean generally is a step up from Carnival.
On both of our Royal cruises, I walked out of the MDR every night thinking that I had the best service ever.
Yeah, it really is. And Carnival used to be that way, and I feel like Carnival's kind of lost a step there, but Royal Caribbean really hasn't. And so that is something I would definitely encourage you guys to do, is take advantage of that MDR, because it is and the food is very good too. I mean, I've never been unsatisfied with the food on either ship on the whole as a whole, but definitely if you're a fan of French onion soup, the French onion soup in the MDR is really good.
Oh, French onion soup.
So So there you go. All right. Let's get started here. What do we got?
All right, let's remember how to share a screen by clicking the button.
We're going to start towards the bottom of the ship, and we're going to work our way up to the top deck. So the first deck that has anything of note is going to be what? Deck 2?
Deck 2.
Which is pretty low. Now there are crew decks below that. I don't know how many decks are below that exactly. There's not a whole lot on deck 2, but there's a conference center and stuff, but that's not really going to have an impact on.
That's really about all that's
on a
there.
normal cruise. But I thought the theater.
That's not on 2.
Okay, so let's just bypass deck 2.
Yeah.
Let's go to deck 3. There we go. That's where I was thinking we were starting. So deck 3 is the bottom of the main theater. The main theater is 2 levels, and it looks like you can access it from either one, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think you can. This looks like a spiral staircase that'll go up.
Right, but I don't know if you can get into the theater from the bottom, or you can just go downstairs from the level up.
I feel like you probably have to be able to do both because it's got to be accessible.
Probably.
So,
you're right. You probably can.
If you go in from the top, you can't accessibly get down the stairs.
That is valid. Yes. And I think that's how, so we were on the Freedom of the Seas, which is a kind of similar ship to some degree. By the way, we should say that okay, there we are. And it was supposed to be enhanced again in 2020, but that didn't seem to happen. So yeah. What's going on? I do see us like flickering on.
Yeah. Are we flashing?
I'm not flashing. Well, let's keep going. I think we're okay. I think we're all right. So the other thing, you want to talk about that? The other thing that's on this level?
Yeah. So the ice rink, which is actually something that all Voyager class ships have. They have the ice rink, which is something that we experienced also on the Freedom of the Seas.
See if there we go. There's a photos tonight, courtesy of the Professor Travel.
Yes, since he was just on this ship. The ice rink is really cool because they do the ice show, and then they usually have an option to do like ice skating lessons. And it's just something different.
Now, Tony, I'm not like a big fan of the shows, but I will say that I did enjoy the ice show quite a bit. And I also enjoyed the shows on the Royal Caribbean ship that we were on.
Yeah.
I felt like they were a step up from the Carnival shows that I don't really love. So I don't remember your opinion on the shows, but if you're lukewarm or you like them, definitely check them out.
I'm not sure. I think there's certain levels of Royal Caribbean that do like more of the Broadway style shows, and some of the older, smaller ships still do kind of the Carnival version of shows. I'm not sure where this ship lies.
One's right on the border.
Yeah, it's kind of like a
medium size, fairly new.
It's kind of right in the middle.
Yeah,
so I'm not sure which direction your shows are going to go.
So maybe let us know how that works out if you choose to do that.
Now you were freezing up just a little bit, but I thought I heard you say something about the ship supposed to be upgraded and then it wasn't upgraded, because I definitely saw a video that said that the ship was upgraded and it talked about all of the things that were added to it. That was done maybe a year ago. It's on YouTube, so I don't know if that was true or not, but it was from Royal Caribbean's official YouTube page. So there
is a Royal Caribbean blog, or I think it's called Royal Caribbean blog, and he has a web or a podcast. And he did a video, and it was kind of a preview of the upgrades it was supposed to get. It did get upgraded in 2017, but it was supposed to get upgraded with, they were supposed to change some of the bars around and do a few other things. And I don't think that happened. Like the lime and the coconut, which is
based on the research that we've done for this ship tour, I don't think it went through that change. It was supposed to happen in 2020. And my guess is, based on the shutdown of cruising, it didn't go through that.
And we say that because the things that were supposed to be upgraded do not show up on the ship map.
Yeah.
But I don't think most of that'll be
specifically from the Royal Caribbean like booking website.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if it's not on where I can see it, I don't think it's got those upgrades.
Yeah.
But it was refurbished in 2017, so it's gonna be in really good shape. And it just doesn't have they've been changing things around. A lot of it, from what I could tell, because we watched the video and it might have been the same one. And if it is, he needs to take that down or put a disclaimer up. But a lot of that stuff, it seemed like a lot of it was like sort of changing bar themes and stuff a little bit. There were a few other things, like it was going to get some new water slides or something. I don't think it got those, but we could be wrong on that. But I don't think it did. Don't think that it did.
Based on what Scott just said, with there being no USBs in the room, that's a deal breaker for us. So, Kimbra, you should probably just cancel the cruise for us at this point.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, that probably also is telling. I don't know if that was a thing they were gonna, but yes, they need to do that in all the ships.
Yeah, USBs are like super important.
Just get one of those USB pluggy things that have all the USBs.
Like we have. I don't know where ours is.
It's somewhere in this room.
Somewhere in this room is an appropriate.
All right, let's keep going.
Let's keep going. So, and then in the back of the ship is the bottom level of the Sapphire Dining Room, which is the MDR. On this ship, it is 3 levels,
which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
very open, and so that'll be good because it probably will feel a little less crowded too, with it being 3 levels. All right, and then we move up to deck 4.
Yep, deck 4, which has the upper level of the main theater. And then you get into the Schooner Bar, which is one of my favorite bars on the Royal ships. It's a I
think Scott.
Do you have a picture of that?
It's a little bit. It's like a little bit of a picture of that. This is the Schooner Bar, I believe.
It's like a ship themed bar.
Yes,
I mean,
it's a sailing. It's like a sailing themed bar.
But it's really cool. I remember was it on the Freedom or the Brilliance? We took a picture. They had like the wheel where you can drive, and we took a picture.
Might have been on. I don't know which one.
It might have been on the Brilliance.
Yeah, maybe. I
don't remember.
But one thing that's really cool about Royal Caribbean ships is some of their bars, which they do kind of have that on most of their ships. So you kind of get that sort of, oh, I'm at home on a Royal Caribbean ship feel, is they do have some things like this, like the Schooner Bar. And it's a very nautical.
That's so good.
It's a nautical theme bar.
Good
and
description.
The other thing that I really think is cool that I noticed, because we looked at some ship tours and stuff for the ship to help us prepare, is that, and we noticed this on the Royal Caribbeans that we've been on, there are a lot of really neat ship models. And I'm a fan of ship models, so I think that's really cool. And this one, I've seen a few at least while watching videos and stuff of the ship.
Yeah.
So,
Matt, with that beard, you could be a ship model,
right? I know.
Stand there.
I mean, and you know, you've got the beard too, my friend. So we should start a company.
We could do like the 90 Abercrombies, like Abercrombie and Fitch models, and just stand around shirtless everywhere.
Well, I think we should get those like pea coats and stuff.
That works too.
You know, like a fake pipe or something like that. I think that'd be good. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Giovanni's Table. This is the first dining venue we've come upon.
Yes, it is. It is their Italian restaurant.
We ate at that on the Freedom. Didn't we?
No, we didn't do any. We've never done specialty dining.
No,
on
do Giovanni's.
No,
I'm thinking of Marty.
Yeah, we've not done any specialty dining on Royal, so we can't speak to it personally.
Well, they don't have a lot on Brilliance.
No.
So, but they did on Freedom, but it was like a 3-night cruise, so we didn't do much of anything on that ship.
But Giovanni's is a specialty dining, and Scott says that it's amazing.
Okay.
So it must be good.
I can say that being a non-pasta fan, I absolutely love the Italian restaurant on Carnival, and so I would suspect that Royal Caribbean would be able to deliver at that level or higher. And it is not an included restaurant. It's not super crazy. It's $25 per person. And they have a $15 lunch thing you can do. And you're going to get a lot of food for that. So, you know, different people have different opinions on whether you should splurge on a cruise and go to the extra charged restaurants. it depends on the cruise for me, but I can tell you whenever I do, I don't regret the experience. Like it's usually a really good amount of food and good quality food. But again, you're going to get good quality food and a good amount of food regardless. Although you liked the food last time, right?
I did. Cheyenne did not. In fact, the only thing that she did enjoy was the steakhouse on the Carnival Sunshine. We both ordered a 28-ounce steak, and I kid you not, like it's bigger than Cheyenne's head, and she ate her entire steak. That was the only thing she really enjoyed. Otherwise, no, she didn't like it. And so the talk up until now and until we get to our cruise from her has been, this food better be worth it. And so I really hope so, because I don't want to hear her being upset about the food myself. And then as far as food goes for me, the only thing I care about is the soft serve ice cream. I have a record to beat. When we were on the Sunshine, I had 33 ice cream cones the entire trip. So I'm shooting to beat that record.
So
a man after my own stomach.
They don't have soft serve on Royals the same way that they do on Carnival.
They have it. It's not 24 hours, but it's most of the time.
I don't remember having it.
Yeah, they have it.
I don't remember us having it.
Oh.
Or where it was. Is it only in the Windjammer?
It's usually in the Windjammer. I don't know on
which
this
is
ship.
Closed when it's not time to be open.
Well, it depends. Depends on the ship. It depends on, sometimes you can get in, they'll close it for cleaning, but you can get in other times and the ice cream will still be open.
Okay.
The ice cream is not necessarily 24 hours, but it's available most of the time. So you will definitely be able to beat your record if you really are determined to. And they also have, which I know we're not there yet, but they do have another ice cream option.
So you need to slow down.
I won't go.
We're only on deck 4.
There's
like 15 decks on here. We need to.
That's right.
Okay.
I do want to know though, when you get back, if Cheyenne enjoyed the food. I really hope she
absolutely
does. And tell her too that if she gets something from like the MDR and she doesn't like it, she can ask for something else and they will bring it to her. So make sure she feels comfortable like trying different options, and that's okay to do, to find something she really likes, because we want her to be happy.
Yes,
that's important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so next we have the casino and a bar
called the Casino Royale.
Yes.
So look for James Bond.
Right. And then we get into the atrium area, which is called the Centrum, which also has the art gallery. And then there's a bar area called the Tavern, which on one thing that I saw also lists that there's food a la carte, maybe. Couldn't find a lot more information on it or what that food is.
Maybe Scott can tell us. Oh, he says that next to the Windjammer, so that must be where the ice cream is. So this is one of the things that was going to get changed to a different type of, this is kind of a sports bar type of theme. And so it already exists. They were just going to retheme it to this kind of new theme that they have going on all their ships or their newer ships. But we think it probably has some a la carte items like chicken wings and.
Well, I don't know what this has. That's what the Playmaker has, but I have no idea what the Tavern has.
That's my guess.
I couldn't find anything.
That's my guess. And if it does, it's probably like, he says the Tavern is somewhat loud. Think pub food. It felt like an Irish
all about
pub
food.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a la carte, but it's gonna be very reasonably priced. It's not. It's gonna be a lot cheaper than going to like a Buffalo Wild Wings or something like that. So you're spending a little bit extra money, but you get to have the fun pub food in the pub, kind of a deal there. So
he says like an Irish pub.
There is an English pub on here, which we'll get to.
We're not there yet.
I know.
Just because you looked ahead doesn't mean they did.
All right, well, let's keep going.
And then we end the back of this deck with the next level of the MDR.
The Sapphire Dining.
Yes.
So now we're going up to deck 5.
Now we go up to deck 5, which
observation
has an observation deck.
This is the deck where you can walk outside and walk around the ship. I did that research on my own.
Did you?
Yes, because that's important to me. If you can't do that on a ship, I get very upset. So I always want to have that deck that's lower that you can walk around the ship, and it's usually pretty quiet. There's not as many people out there. This is the deck that has that, as well as a lot of other things too.
Yes. And then you get into the Star Lounge.
That's going to be like kind of the comedy club sort of dealy. And they probably do like karaoke and stuff in there, that kind of thing. Maybe trivia, but they do a lot of trivia in that pub that I'm not allowed to mention yet. Which is it's appropriate, I think, for a British pub to do trivia.
I'm curious if Scott knows if they do, or if anybody knows if they do Harry Potter trivia on Royal.
Yes.
They did. They did on ours.
It is at least when we did it on, it was Freedom that we did it, right? On Freedom. It definitely wasn't to
we did it on both Brilliance and Freedom.
It definitely wasn't to the level as the Carnival one.
But that may depend on the entertainment staff.
It might, yes.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you there was some real intense Harry Potter trivia on the Carnival Horizon, and it was it was
hardcore.
Yeah, and when we did it on Freedom, well, of course, and when we did it on Freedom, I mean, I got everything right, but it was just kind of like, oh, good for you. Like,
well, so here's the thing: trivia on any ship besides Carnival is you're playing for the fun of the trivia, and if you win, it's like bragging rights. You don't get the beloved, loved by many, hated by a few ship on a stick. You will get something. It could be a keychain. It could be a deck of cards.
I think we got a pen and a highlighter when we went trivia.
But mostly it's just for the fun of playing, which ultimately that's what's really important. But they do. Well, I mean, they have had it. I suspect they will have it again.
Yeah.
Oh, they also have Game of Thrones trivia, Scott says. So, yes. And Meg thinks that you have a chance at winning Harry Potter trivia. If you come on a group cruise and they have Harry Potter trivia, I'm just going to go tell them, you might as well just end this now because our team is going to win.
Between Kimbra, myself,
between you and Kimbra, and I think Meg's a Harry Potter fan too. It's just over. It's just hang it up. Don't even compete. There's no point.
All right. And then we have the Connoisseur Club. Is that that's what that word is, right?
Yeah, the Connoisseur Club. And I'm not 100% sure what this is, but I think this might be about like if you...
Is this like for a certain level?
I don't know. Scott, I didn't look this one up.
I didn't look it up
This is
either.
why I'm glad Scott's out there because I don't remember seeing anything about this one. So I'm not 100% sure. This is... So this area, though, this area that we're walking through right now is this really interesting Royal Caribbean feeling center of the ship where it's indoors on this ship, but it feels very open and it feels like you're walking down a city street and there's like little shops and bars and stuff on the sides, and it's really kind of a cool thing. So the Connoisseur Club might just be a little bar that's there. Scott never went to it, but oh yeah, that's right. And Scott's spouse is a big Harry Potter fan, so there we go.
Right.
We've definitely got this in the bag. But it's a really neat feeling thing.
It's the Cigar Lounge.
Oh, Cigar Lounge. Okay, so maybe not.
Thank you, Google.
But if you like cigars, then that's where you want to go.
Yeah. All right. And then we have some shops.
Well, hang on.
Oh, I'm doing this.
Oh, okay.
And then this. So we have some shops. And then we have Cafe Promenade, which is like where you can get coffee. So this, for the most part, is all included. So they have like some pastries and like some deli sandwiches. We think this is where they have pizza.
This is definitely
where they have pizza.
Yes.
Okay. And they have coffee. If you want to get like fancy coffee, like that the barista makes, that is not included. That's a paid item, but everything else there is complimentary.
Yeah, so a lot of ships have something called Sorrentos. This ship does not have Sorrentos. That's the pizza place, but they have the pizza place. It's just here. It's in the Cafe Promenade. It's open till the pizza you can get till late at night. Like as you properly should with pizza. I don't know if it's 24 hours, but it's pretty late, so you can get it most of the time.
Yeah.
And it looks like a really nice place. And it's different than going to the buffet because it's in this section where it feels like a little cafe on a street in a city or something. And it just kind of has a nice vibe to it. It's definitely like the part of the newer Royal Caribbean ships where you could get into that area and be like, oh, I'm definitely on a Royal Caribbean ship, even if you don't know which one it is at that point, because it's just different than any other ship I've seen. Some MSC does something sort of like that, but it's not the same. It's a Royal Caribbean thing, and it's kind of cool. So.
The pizza is what I'm most looking forward to. I'm a huge pizza person. It's my favorite food ever, and unfortunately I did not enjoy Carnival's pizza.
Oh, well, you might like Royal Caribbean's because it's a big kind of controversy out there who has the best pizza, and some people are on this side of the fence or that side of the fence. So I'll be curious.
I really liked Royal's pizza.
You liked Royal's better than Carnival's, right? And a lot of people
I liked them both, but I really liked Royal's pizza.
There you go. Also, Tony, I saw pizza flavored ice cream at the grocery store the other day. Would you eat that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
They also had mac and cheese ice cream. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about those things.
I also like mac and cheese on pizza. So you could take the mac and cheese ice cream and put it on the top of the mac and cheese pizza, or the pizza flavored ice cream. And just have macaroni and cheese pizza flavored ice cream.
I thought it was bizarre, but they have an audience. So would you eat the pizza ice cream?
No.
The mac and cheese ice cream?
I would try the mac and cheese ice cream. I really like mac and cheese.
I know you do. Okay. All right.
Speaking of ice cream,
they have Ben & Jerry's ice cream parlor on there, which this just says ice cream parlor, but I think it's Ben & Jerry's.
I think it's Ben & Jerry's as well.
It is.
And this is not included. So this would be an additional fee.
However, you can the fee for the ice cream is between, I'd say you're probably looking at $3 to $5 for a cone for Ben & Jerry's ice cream. So it's
like going to a Ben & Jerry's ice cream,
but it's cheaper. I don't think you would get $3 to $5 for Ben & Jerry's if you went to a Ben & Jerry's.
I don't know. I don't.
I
haven't been to one.
Buy a carton thing of Ben & Jerry's for maybe $5, but
maybe.
So the important question would be then is if I had an ice cream from there, would that count in my tally for overall ice cream consumption?
I think so.
I mean, that's really, I don't think I can answer that for you. I think, I think you should just do both. Well, don't do like
a running
30 Ben & Jerry's. That would get expensive.
Here's what you can do. You can do 2 separate counts, and then depending on how close you are, you can add them.
There you go. There you go.
And then nobody has to really know.
Right. Okay. That sounds fair.
Yeah. All right. And then we have the Crown and Kettle Pub.
The Crown and Kettle Pub,
which is actually what Scott thought we were talking about before when we were talking about the tavern. So when he was talking about pub, this is actually what he was talking about.
So maybe is there food in the Crown and Kettle? Crown and Kettle is like, if you could go to the Crown and Kettle and order a butterbeer, it would feel right at home. It's a very British feeling pub, which I'm a big fan of. They have a very interesting drink menu, which I'll put up here. I don't know if these prices are accurate, but they probably are. One of the things that I found really interesting are these beer teenies. So like beer cocktails mixed with different liqueurs and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a very interesting place, and they do a lot of their trivia there. And it's the kind of bar that I'm not like the person that hangs out in bars that often, but if I did hang out in a bar, this is the kind of bar I would hang out in. Like
that menu kind of reminded me of Prohibition Kitchen's menu up in St. Augustine.
Yes. But think of that with more of a British twist to it instead of but yeah, sort of that same almost 1920s, 1940s, somewhere in there. Yeah, just a classic British pub, which I enjoy quite a bit. Quite so. They probably do have tea time on the ship too. If you've never done tea time, search that out, because tea time is a really cool experience. Even if you don't like tea, you get like lots of little sandwiches and pastries and stuff, and it's included except on Virgin, but where they charge you a ridiculous amount of money for it. But it's a good experience. And I don't know when and if they have it, but they probably have it. And when, you just have to kind of look for it. Go to guest services and look for it. Oh, and Meg is putting up a link to your podcast. Thank you, Meg.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I know.
Meg is awesome.
It's really cool that she does that. It's really also really funny when you think about like how many people have listened to me talk about Harry Potter. I have a guest who has been listening to me from Romania consistently since day one.
That's awesome.
It's just crazy to me. Somebody from Romania is listening to me talk about Harry Potter.
That right? I know that is really cool. And that's like the beautiful thing about the world we live in today. The beautiful part is that we have these connections now, like that. Even if we would have been able to make them, we would have never known about it.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's so cool. That is really cool. That is awesome. All right. What's next?
So we have some more shops, and then we have the shore excursions desk, guest services, and the R bar, which is like an upscale kind of bar, like the fancy bar.
Yeah. And so some of the different bars have different drinks that are specific to that bar. And then most of them you can get the regular whatever drinks, that sort of thing. And then there are some that are more kind of your standard cruise drinks and stuff of that nature. And Scott gives the R bar his blessing there. Great lounge and more subdued. So a little more relaxed atmos. Cool. And guest services is right there too.
Yes, I said that.
Yep.
And then we have the top level of the Sapphire Dining room.
Cool.
And then
Another thing I want to point out to you, Tony, is that a really cool feature of Royal Caribbean ships is that at all the elevator areas, they have these touchscreen, like vertical portrait style TVs. They're probably computer screens or something. And you can touch them and find different venues. You can even put in your stateroom number and it'll kind of give you like a little direction thing to it. It makes it really easy to find stuff. They also have these kind of cool acrylic ship maps, like 2D-ish ship maps that tell you where you are and what's on your floor. Those are real helpful for just like, oh, I'm here. Oh, that's there. But these interactive things are really kind of a nice asset that you can use to explore the ship, explore the explorer of the seas. And also, if you're like, oh, I don't know where that is, it can help you find it.
Mm-hmm.
the elevator will also tell you what day of the week it is.
That's good to know.
Yes. On a run.
On the floor. Yeah. They have like little plates that they change out each day to tell you the day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which is like one of my favorite things.
I tried to find the day before so I could like break in and put it there, thinking I could maybe go back in time, but it didn't work.
Oh.
So
yeah, except you never did that, did you?
No, it didn't. Do
okay.
that.
So decks 6 through 10 are all staterooms. So unless your room is on one of those, you probably won't be on them.
Ours is on 8, I believe.
Oh,
okay.
Cool.
And you've got balconies, right?
Yeah, we have 3 balconies in a row, and so
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about like being able to open up that area. I don't know if they actually do that on Royal or not, where you can open up those dividing walls.
They
That'd
probably
be really cool.
do. But
Yeah,
you'll
I think they do.
if it's like Carnival, then you have to you can tell your room steward, but you'll have to like contact guest services and then they have to tell your room steward to do it, kind of a thing. But I would suspect that they probably do that, and it is a really cool thing to be able to do that and just have that long balcony.
Yeah. Also, just to clarify, Cheyenne and I do not have 3 rooms. Like, we didn't book 3 rooms for ourselves. We have family and friends who are also going with us, who have the adjacent rooms to us.
Yes. If you book 3 rooms I don't even know if you could do that. Like, if they would let you.
Yeah, I don't
that.
know. Well, I mean, technically they could have done 2, one for Tony, one for Cheyenne, and then one for the dog.
I don't think
that's 3.
Yeah. Okay. But yes. So the first time you guys cruised, was it just the 2 of you?
It was just the 2 of us. Yes.
So that's another thing that I will be curious to get your take on, because cruising with different situations can really change your cruising experience.
Mhm.
And I don't mean that in like this way's better than that way. I just mean they're different. And I think that that's really cool. Like a group cruise, for example, is a lot of fun, but also cruising with a small group of friends can really, I mean, it just changes what you're going to do and how you enjoy it. But then cruising with, just you and Cheyenne can be a different experience, a much more kind of intimate and an experience, stuff like that. So I'm curious to get your take on all that too.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And we both, Cheyenne and I, when it comes to anything group wise, we're both entertainers. We're both very hospitable. And so we always feel like we have to be the one like planning and doing, and everyone's just kind of coming with us. We're more of like the wranglers. And we've learned that the easiest way to do all of that is just always set the expectations in the beginning. And we are very clear with our family and friends, like, hey, this is what we're going to do. If you want to do it with us, you can. If there's anything you want us to do with you, you can. And don't feel hurt if we don't want to join you, and we won't feel hurt if you don't want to join us, kind of thing. And so just making it very clear up front. That way expectations can be set and managed easily afterwards.
That is a great cruise tip, by the way, to set those expectations and to have those expectations, because that is what cruising really thrives at, is letting people have their own experiences and setting those parameters where you say, look, we're going to make sure that we meet up here at this time on this day and this day or whatever, and we're going to do this together. But everything else, if we do it together, that's great. But yeah, don't feel like nobody's getting butt hurt if you want to go do this and we're going to go do that. And I think that really, to me, that's one of the best things about cruising with like a small group of friends, is that if you have that understanding, it really makes it a great experience. And you'll probably end up hanging out a lot, but then you can still have that sort of intimate time where you go for that quiet walk or something like that. Or maybe you do a different excursion than somebody else, something like that. That's really good to lay out those boundaries, though, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And as long as I have my time to just stare at the water and contemplate life for a few hours, I'm totally good.
So I will tell you the great thing about a balcony. Did you guys have a balcony on your first cruise? I don't remember.
No, we just had an ocean view room, which was like almost water level, and it terrified Cheyenne, so we didn't get to look out of it a whole lot.
Well, I think she's going to like the balcony more. I hope I'm not saying that and I'm wrong. But the nice thing about the balcony, especially if you're with a group and you are going to do something together, or maybe you or Cheyenne takes longer to get ready, the balcony is a place where you don't have to sit in the stateroom like anxious and ready to go, because hey, if you're waiting on somebody, you just go out, step on the balcony, and you're having that commune time with the ocean, and ain't nothing wrong with that. So it's really, I love balconies, and I think you're going to really enjoy that.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, what's next? What deck are we on? 11?
We're on 11.
This one goes to 11.
I just want to say we've got 5 more decks to go.
Okay.
So
pick it up. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
All right.
So we have the fitness center, which, is the normal, the treadmills, the ellipticals, the workout things.
I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
If you want to work out, this is where you can do it.
And I'm pretty sure that they do classes on this. They do classes.
Yeah, they do classes.
Like yoga and spin and
sure they do.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then we get into the solarium, which is normally my favorite part of the Royal Caribbean ships. I think that's where we've spent a good portion of our time.
It's adults only.
It is adults only. So this
Not in a naughty way.
This is like the serenity of Royal Caribbean.
Yeah.
What's interesting about this particular solarium is it's not covered.
Well, a lot of the newer ones, they have a retractable roof.
Yeah, but
so
like this one looked like it was like completely uncovered. Like it wasn't just a portion that was covered.
So the pool part in the center is open, which for your cruise is probably going to be great. And then off to the sides, it is underneath.
Is it?
Yeah. There's stuff
well, then
underneath.
that's how Freedom was.
I think the whirlpools are underneath as well.
Okay, never mind.
So you can escape the sun and still have some pool time, but it's a good. Normally, it's a pretty chill kind of place because of the 18 and over kind of atmosphere. Although it wasn't on our cruise.
I was going to say,
that was a little bit of an anomaly.
So placement of this may not be ideal. because it looks very similar to placement of where it was on Freedom of the Seas, where they have these elevators, the forward elevators. And then right after the solarium is like the main pool deck. So you had all of these families walking from the elevators through the solarium to get
but
that main pool
I
deck.
think our cruise was like a short weekend cruise, and we had a ton of families and children and big groups of people that were very loud and obnoxious. And so I think that's really what that was about. I don't think they're going to.
Oh, I guess there's elevators midship.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to experience it. I think this is a good spot for this, and the whirlpools are nice. The pool is nice. This is a really good place to just relax. If you want a little bit more of the party vibe, you're going to go to the other pools. If you want to just relax and have some quiet time in or out of the pools, this is probably the place you're going to want to go.
And then, of course, there's a bar.
Yeah.
And then there's another bar on like the main pool area, and this ship has the Sea Trek dive shop, which has all of your diving needs, or some of them.
Not really scuba D. Well,
No.
there are some ships that do offer dive.
I don't think this one
lessons.
is one of. This
It would
has
have to
like
be
you're going to get
cruise,
your snorkel gear and your waterproof phone case or like little baggy thing.
Yeah, they probably open up before you go to a port and stuff like that. So it's like another little store. It's kind of cool though. It's a cool concept. I mean, the fact that they call it a dive shop and have it on there is kind of neat to me.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
so.
And then you have your main pool, which has looks like 4 whirlpools.
Yes,
which is nice.
Yeah, there's like a lot of whirlpools. I feel like on this ship.
Yeah,
that's 6 whirlpools. 2 of them are smaller, but it looks like 4 of them are pretty full sized. And then the pools are cool because there's like 2 pools in the same area together, which is kind of a neat thing, and kind of a cool, it's that pool deck atmosphere right there.
And then this ship does have the big outdoor screen where they do like the movies and stuff, so you can sit around and watch.
I don't know if it's like a big movie at night place, but they will.
No, but they usually play movies.
Yeah, they'll have some stuff going on up there, which is kind of fun to go out there, early evening, sit in the hot tub and maybe watch a movie or something like that. Can be fun.
Yeah. Now, are these decks, like what we're looking at right here, are these open air decks where, like, if we go to the next deck up, it's just one level above this and you can look down into this area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I don't think that's the case over the
it won't be along the sides, but in the middle.
It'll be the sides in the pool area, but not in the adult only area. I don't think
the sides are open. There's like windows along there.
Right, but he's talking about above that.
Yeah,
like
above that it's like a deck.
Yeah.
Like and you can look down. Like yes.
It'll feel, this part will feel a lot like the Carnival ship you were on in that pool area, only it might be a different number of pools or the way the pools are laid out, but it'll kind of have a similar feel to that.
It's kind of that Lido where it's open in the middle.
Yeah.
That was actually a very surprising thing that we enjoyed, was the fact that the Sunshine had that area where there was the screen and we could sit there in the evenings and watch movies together.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, sit out at night, cool air, there's no mosquitoes, it's like it's quite pleasant.
And then we go to Chops Grill, which is the steakhouse, which is another specialty dining.
And it is cheaper than Carnival, because Carnival is usually $50 per person, I think.
38.
Oh, is it 38? Why was I thinking 50?
I don't know.
So it's a little cheaper than Carnival. And on this ship, I believe it's going to be 35. They may have a lunch thing, because I saw that come up in my research for 19, but I don't know for sure that that's a thing. So don't quote me on that one, but Chops Grill, it's a good steakhouse experience. I definitely like it. I've done Chops Grill. It's been a while since I've done it, so I don't know I don't know how it compares to Carnival, but I know I really enjoyed it. So I think it's good. What is Scott saying here? Oh, Scott says, warning, once you go to a balcony, you'll never go back. Yeah. Kevin's saying, do they still make staterooms without balconies? But Scott's also saying the main smoking area is located on the side of the main pool. So on one side of the main pool is where you want to go if you want to smoke, or where you want to avoid if you don't smoke. So keep that in mind. And that maybe that's, I think, on the bottom and maybe above it. I'm not sure, but yeah. So yes, he said this is also where they do new movies. Okay. So he doesn't now. Scott did not care for chops. He said, go to Giovanni's for steak. It was.
Oh, and he's saying chops was $40.
Oh, it's $40. So our research said 35, and maybe it's gone up.
Well, it might be old research.
I thought it was pretty recent, but yeah. So maybe go to the Italian place first for a steak. I mean, Carrabba's has one of my favorite steaks, so
yeah,
you never know.
All right, and then we have the Windjammer, which is the buffet.
Yes, and in general, I would say that I enjoy Royal Caribbean's buffets probably a little bit more than Carnival's. I think the food quality is similar. The reason I'm partial to them, I typically like the layout better, but that can vary from ship to ship. But what I really like is I like Indian food, and Royal Caribbean usually has Indian food on the buffet every day. And so, and Carnival offers it in the main dining room, but they don't typically have it every day in the buffet. So, so that can be a perk for me. But if you don't like Indian food, then you won't care about that. But, but they do have, I think, good quality buffet food.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So on to deck 12, we have the spa, which is in the front of the ship.
And little tip here, on your first day of the cruise, if you want to get some potential deals or just get some kind of sometimes free experiences, or if you really do want to work out, go to the gym area and they'll tell you all about what they offer and stuff. But go to the spa, and a lot of times they'll give you like a tour of the spa, and they might, most of the time, although they didn't on our last cruise, but most of the time they will give you a little mini sample massage, which is kind of nice. And they will be, I won't say pushy, but they'll be a little bit like, here, sign up. Just say no. They're not going to come after you or anything like that. But it can be a good way to kind of check out the spa and see what it's all about, and just maybe have that, little hot stones kind of experience, which is quite delightful, or the bamboo pole or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you just compare your hands to hot stones?
I did. My hands are like hot stones. I don't know what that means, but are they?
Oh, yeah.
Also,
yes.
The real Unc D is in the house, and it is a birthday day for him. Happy birthday.
It is his birthday. Is it your birthday today, Dan? At the time of recording? Was that this morning that I wished him happy birthday?
It was this morning.
And Alana from Down Under Cruisers, hers popped. Now, who knows what day it is in Australia, but yeah, happy birthday, Dan.
You know what? I'm going to say happy birthday too. I did see it on Facebook, but I am horrible about like commenting on that kind of stuff. So it's not that I don't care. It's just that I don't do things.
I don't always do that. Let me just confess.
So here's the way I see it is I don't want it to look like I play favorites.
Right.
So if I say happy birthday to one person but not someone else, I don't want someone else to be like, well, they didn't say happy birthday.
Right.
I just don't say happy birthday to anyone.
If I pass over,
because then if I forget,
I'm usually like that. But then every now and then, like I saw Dan and Alana popped up, and I'm like, I'm going to say happy birthday to them. So if I don't say happy birthday to you, please don't take it personally out there. I apologize. Sometimes I see people and I'm like, oh, I want to wish them happy birthday. Sometimes I'll even do it like in a private message just for that reason.
Yeah. Like
but sometimes I just miss the message.
I'm just bad. Like, I don't even give my mom a card.
Like
I'm just not good at it.
Guilty confessions podcast now. All right, let's move
Anyways,
on. Everybody understands social media.
So next we have the running track.
Super excited for that.
Yeah, so there's that.
Are you a runner?
Here recently, yeah. So I didn't tell you any of this, but Cheyenne and I set weight goals for ourselves for this cruise, and so I literally dropped from 210 and I'm down to 179 now, and I'm super excited about it.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
That is cool. if you like running, this is going to be a really cool place to do it. Because it's that, what better place than up in the open air and with that view.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to enjoy that.
Yeah. And tip, if you like track it on your watch or something, it might show that you go like hundreds of miles instead of like one. So
if he goes hundreds of miles, he's been running a long time.
Well, yeah, but because it like tracks where you are on the ship.
Right,
like,
but the ship's only going like 20, 30 miles per hour max,
much more miles than one.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
Understood.
And then the Sky Bar is also here.
Which is, I think, an indoor bar that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And then as you move to the back of the ship, this is where all of your kids' stuff is, or some of it. It's the teen area, the arcades, Adventure Ocean, which is the younger kids area, the outdoor youth area, and then Johnny Rockets.
Right in the middle of all that.
Yes. Which is like Johnny Rockets that they have on land. It's like the diner with the milkshakes and the stuff. This is a paid venue, which
kind of irks me a little bit. I will say I prefer guys. The actual Johnny Rockets on land, I like that quite a bit, and it may be different, but the Johnny Rockets I've had on the ship were not as good to me. But other people would fight me on that hill quite fiercely. So it's not that expensive, I guess. It's like $7. But that only covers your food, but it's as much food, I think, as you want. So you can get burgers and unlimited fries, but it doesn't cover like soda and shakes, which is kind of a shame when you can get guys burgers included. But it is, but the cool thing about it is that it is a restaurant experience. So whereas if you go to Guys Burgers, it's kind of like a buffet burger almost. This is not. You are actually getting served by a waiter, and it feels like you're in a real Johnny Rocket. So in that sense, it's really cool. And if you're a burger guy, I would encourage you to maybe consider giving it a shot, and then let me know what you think.
I plan on it because I wasn't a huge fan of Guys, but I'm also not a huge fan that this one is not included with the price.
Yes, that is a shame. Now my good buddy Mark is he is definitely Team Johnny Rockets. So he and I have like almost come to blows.
Scott says, "Fight me, Matt."
I don't think you want that, Scott, because I'm pretty sure that Matt wrestles alligators in his free time.
I wouldn't test my agility and fierceness against Scott though. But so the world's a big place. Everybody should have their own opinions. But yeah, I'd be curious as to what you think, and if you think it was worth it or not, especially since you're not a fan of Guys. So yeah. All right, what else we got?
All right, so we're on to deck 13, lucky number 13.
Oh, do they acknowledge a 13?
Well,
good
so
for them if they do.
I hope so. I don't know if it's just that way on this or if it's really there. I hope it is, because 13 is a great number.
I second that.
So here on the front of the ship, we have the rock climbing wall, which is interesting because I think I've only ever seen it on the back of the ship.
Oh, that is different.
Yeah,
that is different.
And then the sports court, which is like your basketball and sports ball, dodgeball. I think they do normally.
Yeah, soccer, basketball. They might do.
Oh, you know what? This is the back of the ship. Kind of I lied, because this is all there is on this deck. It's the back.
But okay, but it's towards the back of the ship, but it's facing the front.
No.
Yeah, because the flow rider faces the back. This is the aft is on the bottom.
Right. I understand this, but it's facing towards the flow rider.
You're right. I understand. Okay.
I feel like with where that's positioned, like if you look at the top right diagram where it has the whole ship, where the climbing wall is really closer to midship than back of the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. And look, these two things are like, there are people who are loyal to Royal and they're huge Royal Caribbean fans. And one of the things that they love are these kind of experiences that Royal Caribbean offers that are different. You won't find a flow rider and a rock climbing wall on a Carnival ship, or I don't think a Norwegian ship, or, so this is kind of cool stuff. If you like rock climbing walls, it would be kind of fun. The flow rider, I was really interested in trying, and it was kind of cool. I was a little concerned I would hurt myself, but I didn't. I did it. We both did it. And
I probably won't ever do it again.
well, if you were good at it, it would be a lot of fun.
I would be interested in doing like that lesson thing where you
Yeah.
like have more than 30 seconds to try it.
Well, we were on there for more than 30
Yeah,
seconds.
but everybody was watching me and there was
It
so much
that
pressure.
that was a little weird. And you get sprayed in the face. At the
Yeah.
water. I don't regret doing it. I think
No.
I was really looking forward to trying it, and
Yeah.
I'm glad I did. I would maybe try it again, but it would have to be towards the end of the cruise when I was done with all of the port stops, just in case I like break an arm.
Yeah. I will mention that the rock climbing wall, you do have to have socks.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So make sure you have socks. And I don't know. I think they give you shoes, but I feel like when we were on the Brilliance, they said you had to have closed-toed shoes. So I'm not sure what's required, but you do have to have socks.
Yeah, I think socks is what it. Now, look, Scott, I know at Johnny Rockets you get ketchup, which you spelled wrong, by the way, with a happy face. But I'm just giving you trouble, buddy. But and that's cool. Okay, that's cool. All right. Point for you.
All right. Let's go to deck 14. So deck 14 has Dizzy's, which is a bar. I didn't look it up, so I can't tell you anything about it.
Yeah, we didn't look up Disney's. I don't remember.
I don't remember seeing that.
I feel like it's kind of martini-ish bar, maybe.
I can look it up.
So also, I will say this is the part of the ship that is another thing that's very Royal Caribbean specific, and it is one of my favorite characteristics of a Royal Caribbean ship, and that is sort of this flying saucer shape thing that's on the ship, and it's another really cool, like serene place. Part of it, the Viking Crown Lounge, I think is reserved for people that are a certain level, but then the other, or maybe that's the Diamond Club. It's a Diamond Club, I think, that's reserved. But you can go up there and it's a real chill, quiet place to just like hang out. I draw there, read a book, have a nice quiet conversation. They usually have coffee and stuff up there as well as alcohol. It's a great place to go in the morning and just relax, and you have a great view. And if the weather is not perfect, it's all indoors, so it's going to be nice in there.
So Dizzy's has jazz music, live jazz music.
Well, that's maybe a different. Well, the Viking Crown is then in the back. Maybe that's why it's in the back.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah. Scott says it has the velvet rope and club feel.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. So that could be a different experience up there. Okay.
Yeah. And then we have Izumi, which is another specialty dining. This is sushi. Basically,
it's sushi. It's a la carte. Then I don't know the prices, but I think they can range from like about $6-7 all the way up to like $21 or something like that, depending on what you get. We have a menu.
But I have to share that.
But look it up and you'll see it. Do you like sushi?
Cheyenne absolutely loves sushi.
Okay, so I do know that people that like sushi do seem to really enjoy this place quite a bit. So check it out and see if you like it, if she likes it. So, all
right, and then on the tippy top of the ship, we have the Skylight Chapel, which is what it sounds like. It's a chapel.
Yeah, it's a little chapel.
And it's got like a little skylight.
it's a chapel with a skylight. Yeah, I don't know if they do services in there. I don't know. I know they probably do weddings in there and stuff when they have weddings, but it looks like a chapel. So, I think you could probably go up and check it out. So that might be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Most ships that I've been on don't have chapels anymore.
No, I think they're all going away.
So go and check that out.
Oh, will
and
for sure.
I also want to say too, as far as food stuff goes, you can get room service and you can get complimentary breakfast. It's like a continental breakfast, but you can get, that's complimentary. And then if you get room service outside of that, there is a fee, but it's not per item. It's just one fee for all the room service to be delivered is my understanding of it. So you might pay $5-6 or $7, whatever. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe Scott knows what it is, but but then you can order as much as you want. That's my understanding of it
Yeah.
for their room service thing. That was a big controversy that happened a couple of years before everything shut down, is that all the cruise lines were starting to kind of change their room service policy, where they were starting to charge a little bit. I think it's because people were like wasting a lot of food and stuff. That's the excuse they gave. And the amount of food I see sitting outside of doors, I can believe that. But that's another opportunity for food that is included. So there is a lot of food there's a lot of pay options on the ship, but there's also a lot of included food on there. And like the buffet, I think they also have a grill kind of area that's by the pool that has like your like burgers and hot dogs and stuff like that that you can get as well. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
I think it's a cool ship. I think you're going to enjoy it. I'm excited for you because I know you really enjoyed your first cruise, and I think I think you're going to enjoy this one, but I think it's going to really, in a lot of ways, be a very different experience for you.
Yeah.
And not necessarily in a better or worse way, but in some ways I think it is going to be better. In other ways, your first cruise was really cool for other unique reasons, but I think you're going to really get a similar ship experience of what Royal Caribbean offers that is in line with what Carnival offers, kind of that same level of ship.
Yeah.
Maybe this one might be a little bit newer experience than what you had with the Sunshine, but I think it's going to be kind of comparable. So it'll be a good way for you to kind of say, hey, this is what I really like about this line or that line, or that sort of thing. And also I'm excited that you're going to get to go to these Caribbean stops that are really different. And I hope that you enjoy Jamaica and Haiti, but I really feel confident that you guys are going to love Coco Cay. So hopefully I won't eat those words, but I think you're going to really enjoy it.
I think it's going to be good. And out of all the places we're going, that's where I'm looking the most forward to going. We already have all of our snorkel stuff ready. We're going to go snorkeling there. I remember you were talking about some seagrass areas that we can go check out. And so that's where I'm really excited to go poke around.
Yeah. So when you get in there's like a snorkeling beach area. And when you get in the water, I got really upset when we went because they closed off the area where I used to like to snorkel. You can't go there anymore. So I was kind of ticked off about that. But if you go straight out, they have people out there on like lifeguards out there, but they also have like floaty buoys and stuff that mark like the concrete version of Queen Anne's Revenge. And there's a few other structures, but also if you go off the beach and just swim to the right, there's like a big rock wall area you come to, and it's right next to the beach. And that's where we saw a lot of cool stuff. That's where we saw
the shark.
That's where we saw the shark. Yeah. So, and that was literally like, there were places where it was probably 3-4 feet of water.
There was lots of stingrays there too.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. So, but it's a pretty big snorkel area, and I've seen a lot of cool stuff there.
Yeah.
In the times I've been there. So I think that's going to be exciting, which speaking of cool stuff,
I was going to say, speaking of cruise creatures,
let's roll into that.
Why did it cut off?
It cut the manatee off. That's not right. So we always ask our guests if they have a cruise creature, and you threw me a curveball because
you never fail to be creative.
I had never heard of the creature that you suggested that we cover today. And so for me, that was exciting because I got to learn.
I said yes before
stuff.
I told Matt it was okay.
And what did you suggest, Tony? What is this thing called?
Out of love for my pizza, it is the pizza crust sea slug.
Pizza crust sea slug. Let me just put a picture of it up here. Okay. Now keep in mind, this thing gets up to about 5 inches long. And if you zoomed out of this, it looks even more like a pizza than it does in this picture, which to me, that looks like a pretty nice pepperoni pie right there. How did you hear about this creature that's eluded me?
So Cheyenne and I were thinking about what creature we would want to do, and she started yelling sea slug, and I was like, "Well, I've already given them one creature that was considered a sea slug, so I don't want to do another sea slug." And then I saw this pizza crust sea slug. Actually, she found it. I don't want to take that credit because she'll come up the stairs and start beating me up. Um, she found it, showed it to me. I was hungry, instantly wanted pizza, and I said, "That's what we're gonna do."
Well, you shouldn't eat the pizza crust sea slug because I did have a challenging time finding information out about it. But one of the things I found out is that they eat probably mostly animals called tunicates, which put me in a whole nother rabbit hole because tunicates are in the phylum Chordata, which is basically, other than tunicates, it's amphibians, fish, birds, reptiles, and mammals, and things with a skeleton for the most part, or at least a backbone. And tunicates are like to outline that. And it occurred to me that I always tell people that there's like the chordates and then all the invertebrates, and that the invertebrates outnumber the chord. But then I'm like, wait, tunicates are chordates and invertebrates. And that just, I just had one of, like, I don't know why I knew they were chordates, but anyway, they have a toxin, and it's possible, apparently, that the pizza crust sea slug, by eating these tunicates, kind of like the blue dragon, absorbs this toxin, not quite as crazy as nematocyst cells, but and makes them at least less tasty, which is sad considering they're called, they look like a pizza. They're called a pizza crust sea slug. I will also tell you that these guys belong to a group of sea slugs, which are known as the side-gilled sea slugs. That's Gilled, not Guild. We've been playing Skyrim, so let me just make that distinction there. They're actually in a group called Pleurobronchus. That's their genus, which literally means in Latin side breathing tube, but in their case, it's an external gill only on the right. So most mollusks, which is what the phylum they're in, are what we call bilaterally symmetrical, which means if you cut them down the middle, kind of like us, they're mostly the same on both sides. Well, these guys are one of those animals that likes to break the rules. So on the inside, they are different. And whereas a lot of mollusks are different on their like exterior, their shells and stuff, but slugs usually get that differently. But these guys are rule breakers. They are not nudibranchs. So some of the research I started doing called them nudibranchs. And this is one of those things where you have to, I guess, be a little bit familiar with marine life to kind of catch this. But nudibranchs are a different group of sea slugs. So I would say that all nudibranchs are sea slugs, but not all sea slugs are nudibranchs. So there's that. But nudibranchs means nude gills or nude breathing tube, which is kind of weird. But theirs is on their back. So they have these little things on their back that they breathe through, and these guys have it on the side. The other thing that blew my mind about these is that they get up to like 5 inches long. And it's weird to me that I've never heard of these, and that it was so hard to find information about them, because they're found throughout the Western Atlantic. But one of the places that I saw that they were, at least in the late 1940s, they were super common, is in Biscayne Bay, right around the Miami area. And they apparently are found in shallow water. I don't know if they go into deeper water as well. And they're in like rubbly kind of rocky areas. There used to be another sea slug that was similar, the same genus that they have found through DNA testing is actually the same species. They just look a little bit different. So not all, you can get different types of pizza slugs, I think is what the lesson is there. Like you can get the mushroom, you could get sausage, you can get pepperoni, you know, different flavors are available. Actually, the other pictures I saw, that other species were mostly orange. There were some that were kind of brown, but there are a lot. If you Google pizza crust sea slug, you will see a lot of images of these animals, and they really look like a pizza.
Absolutely. I also wonder if is pneumaticist one of your favorite words just because it has your name in it?
I like the word nematicist. Nematicist and Ampullae of Lorenzini.
I enjoy that one a lot too.
Yes, yes. I have to share a story with you. I teach kids a lot, and today I had a group of children, and I was teaching them about sharks. We were doing a class on sharks, and so we'd always tie a conservation message in when it's appropriate. And for sharks, I was talking about sharks eating things like trash they shouldn't, or getting tangled in that. And I was asking them what the solution was to that. Like, what can you do? What can you and I do to help keep this garbage from getting into our water system and harming these animals? And, I got some good answers, cleanups and stuff. And then eventually one of them said recycle. And so I said, that's a great example. Can somebody else give me another word that starts with the letter R that would help? And this kid raised his hand. Now, this class, mind you, these were second graders. I think they were second graders, and they were like, they knew their shark stuff. I asked the teacher, I'm like, are you studying sharks? She said, no, they're just really a lot of interested kids that are interested in sharks. So this kid raised his hand. He so wanted to answer this question. Like I knew he knew the answer. So I called on him. I said, what's another R word? He said, reproduce. And I said, well, I think the word you're looking for there is reduce. And it took every ounce of control for me not to bust out laughing. And I heard the teachers giggling as well. So we just moved on from that. But I thought that was pretty fun. Those are the kind of experiences you have when you work with children that are just kind of priceless. But yeah, so I don't think reproduction will help with keeping trash out of the water. Maybe. I don't know how, though.
You mentioned conservation, and it reminded me, I wanted to ask you a question. I saw this amazing video on Wednesday of the, I believe it was the U.S. government that was in the Gulf, purposely sinking giant tanker ships for fish to help create coral reefs, I believe, or for some purpose or another. And so the video is really cool because you saw them sinking it. It was going down below the water. But what are your thoughts on that? Like, is that something, it's a giant metal ship. So is it actually contributing to sea life and it being healthy for them? Or over time, does that metal breaking down and rusting, I don't know if it really oxidizes underwater, but wouldn't it slowly release some kind of chemical that might be harmful to fish as well?
So the good thing about metals is that they are a fairly natural substance. They do break down very quickly in salt water. That's why like shipwrecks in the ocean will rot, even if they're wood, really fast. Usually you just get like planks and stuff, where in freshwater, like if you go to the Great Lakes, they'll be preserved for a much longer time. No, that is actually a really beneficial thing. In the Gulf of Mexico, outside of the St. Pete Clearwater area, there is a whole line of barges and stuff that have been sunk. And the reason that they do that is because that structure and the roughness of the metal, or they also will make balls out of concrete that have like a hollow middle and then holes in them. They'll call them reef balls or oyster balls. They'll sink those as well. But the rough texture allows for like sponges and corals and other marine invertebrates, tunicates, to be able to latch on when they're coming out of their larval plankton stage and then start developing. And then that's kind of the equivalent of planting trees in a field, and it grows into a forest, and then all the animals come in. So in fact, so this came up just the other day. Somebody was asking about the difference between like metal and plastic, and that is really the difference. Whereas metal will eventually rot and rust and break down into natural substances. So if it's regular metals, it won't be toxic or anything, especially in the quantities that are there in the huge ocean. Whereas plastic, we don't think it ever really goes away. It just keeps getting smaller and smaller until it's microscopic, and still potentially presents a problem to living things. We still don't know a lot about microplastics, but we know we're finding it. Like, I think it's been found now in the human body or something, but it's definitely been found in like oysters and stuff. And there's still a lot we don't know about what that's going to mean, but you don't find bits of metal in there, like, so but that's a good question. But it
Yeah.
is definitely when it's done properly, it's a beneficial thing. They have to get all the oils and stuff out of there, but you'll see that a lot, like in the Caribbean, like say Grand Cayman, for example. They've sunk ships. There's a lot of places where they will do that, and ships are just, instead of like scrapping it and burying it somewhere, by sinking it in a good area, you create an artificial reef, which just enhances just creates an ecosystem. Because normally for that reef to exist at that size would take hundreds or thousands of years of generations of coral building upon itself to get that huge structure. And now you're kind of creating this huge structure and just forgetting about all that history, because you could just build on that exterior, because that's most of what's alive on a coral reef. These mountainous coral reefs, most of what's alive is just that outer layer.
Yeah. You said all of that, and really all I took away was this graphic of opening up an oyster and finding a plastic pearl now.
It may happen. I don't know. I don't know. All right. You got anything else?
No.
No.
Is there something I'm supposed to have?
No. I just
you're looking at me like I'm supposed to.
It's just one of those moments when I realize I've been just exploding out of the mouth and I'm like, oh, I should
exploding out of the mouth.
That doesn't sound good.
Reno did that the other night.
Yeah. Anyway, Tony, do you have any questions for us, or anything you want to say, or anything else to cover?
I mean, that's dangerous territory, because I could just start talking and not stop. There's so many Harry Potter things I want to ask Kimbra about. Like if she's seen Secrets of Dumbledore yet, and if she's upset about it as I am, because I'm massively upset about it. And I would love to talk about why, but I don't know how you feel about that. But no, I'm really excited for this cruise. I'm excited for all of the stuff that Cheyenne and I have been working on, whether it's working out, eating better, getting ourselves ready for this cruise. Cheyenne has essentially cut out all sugars until we get to the cruise. I've reduced mine maybe by like 90%. And so we're ready to just go crazy on the cruise and just make ourselves sick with food. So we're excited for it. It's going to be a good time. And for everybody who's listening, I cannot commend Kimbra and Matt specifically in that order, because I've really been more in contact with Kimbra when it comes to setting up our cruise. She has made everything super easy, super seamless. She's answered every single one of my questions, even the ones at 3 a.m. where I'm like, are we going to die on a cruise ship right now? And it's been really good. She's been super helpful. And if you want to make your cruise exactly what it is, which is supposed to be relaxing and no responsibility and literally just super easy, the next step is just having somebody else plan it. And so Kimbra doing that for us took our experience so far to the next level. And so there's going to be a point where I'm on this ship and my only goal is to simply exist, to take in enough oxygen into my lungs to stay alive and just exist. And Kimbra's making that possible. And so it's absolutely wonderful that she's done a bang up job, and Matt has been there the whole way as well. So I cannot recommend them enough. If you want to book a cruise, definitely book it through them.
Oh, thank you, Tony.
Thank you. Yeah, that's very kind.
You've also been very patient and easygoing with me, because of course you were my first official booking. So being patient as I figured out what I was doing was great.
Also, for the group cruise, I'm slowly wearing Cheyenne down on this. I'm doing my absolute best. The only thing is we just don't know what the future holds for us, as we have things planned, but we don't know. If we're able to do it, I absolutely plan on booking with you. And if it helps you, just strictly for the learning aspect, I am happy to be the worst customer you've ever had too.
Oh, good. No, thank you.
Yeah, she probably doesn't want that.
No, I don't want a bad one. Actually, everybody that I've booked so far has been wonderful.
Yeah.
How many do you have so far?
We have 9
on the group cruise
cabins on the group cruise so far.
Awesome.
And most of those are double booked.
There are 2 that are not.
2 that are not. So
yeah. And of course, we do plan to have a recipient from Helping Hands for Cruising. And maybe we'll get some more people joining us for that as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But we've got 9 included, so 8 wonderful people joining us, or 8 wonderful cabins joining us, and hopefully more.
Yes.
We won't talk about the fact that you almost said poople instead of people.
Yeah, it's bedtime. I was out late last night.
Yeah, she went to a play.
Broadway show.
Hey, let's wrap this up and then come back into the credits.
Okay.
And let everybody go. I'll let you do that.
All right. Well, first of all, we'll come back with you after the credits, but I want to say thank you, Tony, for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
To go through this ship tour.
Yes.
Thank you. It's been wonderful.
And on that note, it's time to head for the horizon. And until next time, seize the day.
Have a fantastic week, everybody. Happy birthday again, Dan. Yeah, Tony, thank you so much. That was a ton of fun.
You know, the only thing that I think would improve your guys' show would be is if you had all of your guests when they're on, read your credits out loud as they're going through. That would be amazing.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
We may steal that. We may do
You
that. if yes. And then we can
I think we'd have to slow it down because it's kind of fast.
But then you could also do like the Whose Line Is It Anyway and make it a theme. So like,
Yes.
all right, Tony, you have to read the credits like a pirate tonight. And
Oh my goodness. It's so tempting.
Oh, why haven't we thought of that already? We may put that into practice. We will have to look into that because that could be a lot of fun. Have you ever seen Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh,
They do
yeah.
that? That's a hoot. That's
Mhm.
a great idea. I like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Thanks everyone who's been putting the link for my podcast out there.
Yeah, definitely check that out. Common Room Talk with Mr. Tony Diles.
It's a good
Yeah.
time. I've been on a break since we finished the last book just because the past month has been absolutely crazy with work and the transitions that have been going in there and taking on a lot more responsibilities to getting things ready for the cruise. And I was surprised at how much work went into planning not just our cruise, but the other people that are joining us, trying to get all of our meetings together, what we're going to be doing, what we're talking about. And they're probably fed up with me at this point because all I do is talk to them about cruising. And so they're probably tired of me.
Well, I mean, they might be tired of you now, but they'll be thanking you when you're on the cruise and you've got all that sorted and stuff. And
After they throw me overboard for how much I bugged them for it.
That's cool. So we didn't talk about your excursions too much, but you said you're going to do jet skis in Labadee.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Have you ridden jet skis before? Or driven jet skis before?
Never. So this is going to be a learning curve and potential not drowning time. So it's going to be a great,
You'll have a
great
life jacket
experience.
on. It'll be all right.
Yeah. I'm excited for it.
And then you're going to do the Dunn River Falls. Is that what you're doing in Jamaica?
I think that's what it is. So it's a mix of like a few different things that there were. So there it's a jungle hike, it's climbing waterfalls, and then I think that there's also some time at a really popular swimming area.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Cool. That should be fun.
So I have to ask, Kimbra. I need to know, what are your thoughts on the movie? Obviously, there might be spoiler alerts if anybody wants to see it, but I want to know your thoughts.
So the series as a whole has just not stood up to what Harry Potter is, of course, which I don't know if anybody really expected it to.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with, again, the series as a whole is it's called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and it's not really about Fantastic Beasts. It's some other random storyline where they throw in a couple creatures. So that's my biggest issue with the thing as a whole. The first movie was fine. The second movie, I really didn't like at all.
Mhm.
This last movie, I do have to say, some of the things that were kind of not answered were finally kind of answered. So that was nice that they did kind of wrap up some stuff.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, just the story as a whole just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, without ruining things, there were three big things that I really disliked about this movie. The beginning, everything was super scattered. There wasn't really an explanation as to why people were where they were, and essentially why they have given up on other people, and that was really frustrating to me. The other one is there was a lot of magic being used that has never really been seen before and not really explained very well. And typically, when we've seen new magic, there's been some sort of explanation to it. And this one kind of left me having to come up with my own explanations with things. And I just didn't really like it. But the last thing was specifically with characters that we see later on in the Harry Potter series who, based on their characteristics in a situation, which I'm sure everybody's seen the final Harry Potter movies, at least I had hoped so. But specifically with the Dumbledore Ariana situation and the way that Aberforth's character kind of looks at everyone else in that situation, I feel like what happened in this movie made some characters just as bad as others because of the decisions that were made. And that's not how they're portrayed later on in the Harry Potter series. And that's really frustrating to me.
I agree with that. I also don't understand why Tina was like not in it at all
Until the very end.
until the very
That was
end.
weird.
That would just made no sense to me because
Yeah.
she was such a big part of the other two.
That was one of the lesser things where I looked at Cheyenne and I said, I don't understand. Like, Tina was all about that fight. I don't understand why she's not there now.
I mean, yeah, it was almost like something happened with the actress, and then she was only in part of it or
Yeah.
something.
I also didn't like that they didn't have Nagini in it all. They just kind of like dropped that storyline too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt a little bit bad for Nagini. It
Yeah.
seems like, but yeah, I will say as a much less knowledgeable Harry Potter fan that one thing I did like about the movie, and I know Kimbra likes this too, is I really liked Newt Scamander's character. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like honestly, if I didn't like his character so much, it would have been hard to even keep watching at some points. But I
Same.
would love to see more of that character.
say, I really wish
series
that
or
they would
something.
actually make Fantastic Beast and Where to Find Them
Right.
Yeah.
like
Like-
the way that
Yeah.
it sounds like it should
like
be.
him writing that, like him discover. Yeah.
There's a show on HBO Max that is about different animals and stuff now that kind of inspired some of the Fantastic Beasts. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm planning on it. But it's supposed to be along that premises. But the one thing that I would say overall, I wish they would have done with this movie, because they did it with the first one into the second one, is not so much try and explain why there's a difference now in Grindelwald, such as the Johnny Depp versus Mad, who is playing it now, is in the first one, we saw, I believe it was Colin Farrell who played Grindelwald at first, I think.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's.
And
what it
then,
was.
yeah, at the very end, you saw that magical transition to
Mm-hmm.
where he becomes Johnny Depp. I wish they would have done something like that instead of just completely switching like the
Right.
character with no explanation. I think that would have been a very smooth transition.
And they had the perfect setup to do that. And then
Mhm.
the situation with Johnny Depp happened. They could have done. I was surprised they didn't do that. Maybe they thought it'd be too obvious, but to me that would have made perfect sense
Yeah.
Right.
to do that.
Yeah. I mean, especially like, of course, here and now we know why it's a different person, but for somebody that's going to like watch that in the future, it's like, why is this a completely different person? How do I know that that's who that is?
And if you have an opportunity to, within the realm of how you're telling the story,
I mean,
explain it away, why not use that?
right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all magical. Make something magic happen.
Mhm.
Like, he literally changed the shape, his facial features before.
Right. He can do it again.
So
Yeah.
who's to say what his real form is, or maybe he wants to look
Yeah.
different. I don't know.
Do you think there's going to be another one?
I don't know if they're making enough money to want to do. There's supposed to be 5 in total. I don't know.
I
if
thought this was supposed to be the last one,
that,
but it
so
ended with like a
cliffhanger.
like
I was
yeah.
so mad about that ending. I wish I could specifically explain why, but the end of that fight, when half of that party just for some reason is able to walk away. Like, are you kidding me? Like, why is nobody doing anything about this? It was really frustrating to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It seemed like it was almost haphazardly put together plot or something like that. But
Mhm.
I did enjoy seeing the beasts when they were there, though, when they were on screen.
Yeah, it was nice to see some of the new different ones. That was
I would have
fun.
liked to have, and like when we saw that seahorse thing in the first one, and I was like, oh, what's going to happen with that? And then
the Kelpie.
the Kelpie, and then we never saw it again.
Yeah.
I wish there would have been more scenes in his briefcase specifically.
Yes.
Or at least seeing like the Thunderbird release. That would have been really cool too. I know that they released him technically at the end of the first one, but it would have been cool to see like a follow up with that, because I think originally he wanted to release him in Arizona.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been cool to see more stuff like that for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would like a whole series in his briefcase.
Pause. I think that's a long enough pause. Thanks.
People come in right at that point. They're like, "What is going on?"
I know. Just people just randomly staring.
If you are watching this and you're like, "Why did they do that?" It's because we edit this podcast to where it's the audio only version. We cut off before the opening credits and we cut off after like that, so that if people are listening and we're just talking to the people in the chat and stuff, they're not like, okay, this why would I listen to this? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
it's not like in the present.
We used
kind
to
of
just
thing.
talk and say, okay, we'll end it here. But then when I go into edit, Matt doesn't ever stop talking, so I never actually know where to cut it. So we have to like do a good solid pause so I can find where the break in audio is.
Dan says that documentary is called Fantastic Beasts: A Natural History. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's the one.
We should probably get our HBO back.
Yes, we should. Yes.
I didn't say this out loud, but I can probably just give you my password to watch it.
Well, we're supposed to have it with our phone contract, and it just suddenly stopped allowing us access. So we just probably need to go to AT&T and be like, hey, why aren't we getting this anymore? We're supposed to have it for the duration of our phone contract. So
yeah, Matt, I almost wore my Cruise Geek shirt tonight, and I didn't. I didn't know how you would feel about it.
No, I'm all good with that. I wear them every now and then. So
cool.
I've got like a closet full of them.
But mine shrank. It would have been a mixture to my weight gain since I bought that shirt, but it did shrink as well, and so it's a little small on me now.
Yeah, some of those shirts do. But now you've lost weight, it might fit,
Might show off some of the muscles now.
Anything else?
I'm tired.
I'm right there
like
you.
It didn't hit me until like about 10:30, and then I like really started to feel it. I went to see My Fair Lady last night, and it was like really long, and I didn't get home till 11:30.
Yeah, about 11:30.
Yeah. So
is it going to be a really long week for you?
I don't. I'm going to keep myself pretty busy at work, and then I have class Monday evening, and then Bible study on Tuesday. It's going to be busy, so it should go by quick. I honestly thought this week was going to be the longest week, and it went by pretty quick too.
No, that's good. That's good. Are you guys are flying down, driving down?
Yeah, so we're flying down to Fort Lauderdale, which this is what I wanted to tell you about on the episode, and I forgot to do it. We're flying down to Fort Lauderdale, renting a Tahoe, so a big old 6-person vehicle, on Friday, and then that Saturday morning we're waking up and we're road tripping to Key West, and we're going to spend the day in Key West.
Okay.
Driving back Saturday night, and then hopping on the cruise Sunday.
That is still a haul to Key West.
Yeah, well, I mean, for Cheyenne and I, like those kind of drives are pretty common, because like where I live, we're about 2.5 hours from some of our friends that we go see up in Cleveland, and so like it's a drive we do frequently, so it's not that bad. Like we're used to those kind of road trips. So
there's a spot that I would suggest you might want to stop at, either on the way there or the way back. It's not as far as Key West. Trying to remember the name.
Is it where we went? Oh,
it's basically it's a restaurant. You can eat there if you want, and the food is really good. But the reason I would go there, and you can just stop by depending on your timing and stuff, is you can feed the tarpon. And when we were there were like nurse sharks and stuff. So it's a dock, and you can pay a few bucks, $5, $10, I don't remember what it was, to get these fish. And you put your hand in the water, you can drop the fish or the tarpon. I mean, they're huge tarpon. They'll jump up and they'll grab the fish. It's a really cool experience. And I'm trying to remember what it's called. She's looking it up. Robbie's.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I would say if you're in the area at a good time, stop by and check that out. Even if you just go by and watch them, because you could just go by, walk over there, watch them and see other people doing it. But it's pretty cool.
See, it's really funny because Cheyenne's the opposite of me, where she wants everything to be a surprise. I want to know about everything before I do it, so I know not to waste my time on some things or just where to dedicate my time. And so I've been watching tons of videos of what to do in Labadee and what to do in Falmouth and what to do on Perfect Day. And then a lot of stuff I've been watching is the drive down to Key West, what to do in Key West, a lot of drone footage as well of that drive of Key West. I'm really excited. Yeah. It's gorgeous. I really wish, because I know you've talked about this specifically as well, and there was actually a show during Shark Week that I really enjoyed, and actually this was one that you said that you enjoyed too, was where they were looking for hammerhead sharks under, I think is it 7 Mile Bridge?
7 Mile Bridge, yeah.
And I wish that, I don't know if there's a place to stop there, but I would love to stop and be able to see if we could see any of those hammerheads.
So I don't know what your odds are of seeing them, but I want to say Bahia Honda.
That's what I was going to say. Bahia Honda is nearby.
Is that in that area? And that's a park. When we were there a hurricane had literally gone through, so the water was a little murky. But normally it's supposed to be a good place to snorkel off the beach and like grass flats and stuff like that. We did see some fish right there, but but the side that people normally snorkel on, like nobody was out there because it was murky and stuff. But yeah, it's you will go over 7 Mile Bridge, so that you can stop at parks kind of around there. I don't know what your odds of seeing a hammerhead are, but you never know.
Yeah, never know.
But it'll be cool. It'll be a lot of fun. Key West is kind of cool. I mean, it's a little bit like St. Augustine, but with a much more party vibe to it, but also kind of a laid back vibe. And there's a lot you can do in Key West.
Yeah.
Depending on what you want to do, but there's some neat stuff there as well.
Yeah, we honeymooned through Florida, like we road tripped through Florida. We were supposed to be in Naples for a few days. We were there for half a day and we got super bored and left early, and then went to St. Augustine from there. And St. Augustine was by far the highlight outside of going to Universal and Harry Potter. It was the highlight. And so Cheyenne said that the same thing, that it's very much like that in Key West. And that's her favorite place so far in the world to go to. So I'm excited to go see it.
Okay, so she's been there.
She has. I have not.
Okay. So I would say Key West does have a lot in common with St. Augustine, but the whole island is like St. Augustine. So it's a bigger area. It's a little, there's a lot there. It is a very similar vibe, I think, in a lot of ways. And they even have the trolleys and stuff that go around.
I'm going to end the broadcast here because nobody's talking and we're not talking to anyone.
Okay.
So,
okay, everyone.
Yep. All right. Well, good night, everybody that's out there. Thank you guys for joining. We're already like pretty far into the Under Cruisers, but go check them out if you haven't already. Tell Alana happy birthday. I don't know if I guess they're on tonight.
They're on. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.